I promise this is not I'm quitting my job to do YouTube video, which would be super weird because I have absolutely no following on here whatsoever. Hi, my name is Jess and welcome back to my channel. This is my ADHD lifestyle. I am doing things in a weird order right now, so I am fully make-upped, but today I'm here to do a kind of a get ready with me vlog thing where I'm just going to talk about some stuff that's going on in my life. I give some examples and explanation as to why, so let's get right into that. But I'm gonna do something a little bit different today. I have a lot going on and I kind of wanted to get a couple things filmed today, so I decided to kind of double dip a little bit. So this is gonna be a little bit weird, but I'm gonna kind of call this a vlog, and I am going to put on my makeup while I talk to you about some of the things that are going on right now. And meanwhile, I will get ready to film the actual video that I wanted to film today. So I hope this isn't weird. Not every one of these vlogs will be like this, most likely. It's just gonna kind of depend on what I'm doing with this project and some of my future projects in general, and my future in general is kind of in flux. So yeah, and this is not in any way, shape, or form going to be a tutorial. I have a teeny tiny mirror that I'm going to be using the whole time, and I by no means should be telling anyone how to do their makeup. Yeah, I'm doing kind of a witchy look because the video that I'm filming after this is gonna go with that vibe. But yeah, this is the only mirror I have. It's very thin. So this is gonna be a little weird for me. Yeah, we'll see how this turns out. Part of the reason I'm doing this, oh, I should put primer on my lids and do my eyebrows. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. Kind of what I wanted to talk about is, since the pandemic hit, I was lucky enough to be able to start working from home right away, which meant that I have spent a lot of time just like kind of sitting at home on my own writing, which has been very good for me. I'll be honest, I've been doing a lot of like writing for work. I mean, not like just writing. As I've said in previous videos, I am a professional content strategist, but I do not have a content specialist or a content writer underneath me, which many people in the strategist content management sphere would, meaning where is this hair coming from? Okay. Meaning that I would normally be putting together plans for content and coming up with content ideas, and then I would have some kind of support on production. But my team is just kind of on the small side, so that's just not, I broke them, there we go. That's just not in any capacity what's going on right now, which is fine. I actually really like the production side of, this is hard, talking while doing my makeup is hard. I actually really like the production side of doing content. I would never really want to move into a position where I would be doing none of that. I have been thinking a lot, because I've been spending a lot of time at home alone and thinking about my career in general. I write for an industry I'm not super passionate about, which is a bit of a struggle for a couple of reasons. Eyebrows are hard. How's that look? I don't know what I'm doing. I kind of, because of some things that happened at my review with my job last year, I had kind of been making some really tough decisions in general about my job, and being at home a lot just really made me start thinking about it more. I had more time to think about it. And so I kind of decided, originally, so what I'm trying to say here is like I had plans, and I'm going to talk about how those plans have changed significantly in the last like week. My plan originally had been to kind of stay at my position until the end of 2020. While the pandemic has affected a lot of areas as far as like hiring goes, blue collar jobs like in the marketing industry tend, especially in like web content and like online digital stuff, has stayed pretty active. I kind of decided, because of some things that kind of went on with not my current manager, he's the VP of marketing at my company, but not with him, but with the other leadership team. It's really hard to recognize when a content writer is doing a lot versus like when a designer is doing a lot. Because of that, I wound up, in my opinion, a little bit disenfranchised. I kind of fell into this position where they didn't want to advance me because they told me I wasn't being strategic enough, or I hadn't done enough content strategy for the company. Which was fair, but also the reason I wasn't doing it was because they were kind of holding me back. So I was a little frustrated with that. And so I kind of decided that I was gonna kind of really know my worth and put my foot down and that if they did not give me the position that I wanted to have, or the title that I wanted, I should say, because there is no one above me, I wouldn't be taking anyone's title, nothing like that. If they did not, like, kind of recognize the work that I had been doing for them, I was going to start applying to other places and looking for something particularly that I was more passionate about, and looking into the marketing departments of places that I care a little bit more about. I have a lot of hobbies and a lot of things that I could be doing with my job that I think I would enjoy a lot more. I have a lot of security in the job that I have right now for a lot of reasons. I wasn't like really willing to be like, I was gonna burst out into the world. It was kind of more of a, I wanted to do a very controlled, strategic, I'm gonna start looking, I'm gonna find something that I really like and I really care about and that I would really love to like work at, and, you know, make sure I get the title that I wanted, or even a higher title than that. I'm gonna putting some stuff on my lips because they're getting dry already from talking. And kind of talking about passion and things like that really kind of leads me to where I wound up this week, this very panicky week I've had. In general, when I got laid off at the end of 2018, which I've talked about in other videos, I'll link that. When I got laid off, I kind of decided that I was just going to apply for any of my dream jobs that I saw. I desperately needed a job though, so it wasn't like I could like wait it out for those jobs or anything. I didn't get any of them. Obviously, I didn't even get like an interview for multitudes of reasons. For example, like one of the things I applied for was like a part of like the localization team at Nintendo, which is absolutely not something I'm qualified for. So, you know, it was just like kind of one of those things where like I knew they were long shots. I was kind of just doing it to make the whole like job hunting process a little bit easier on myself. And where was I going with this? Something I discovered was that if I followed a company on LinkedIn, I could keep a beat on them and whether or not they were hiring, which was very good for me, both as I was actually job hunting, and then even when I, you know, stopped and I had a position and I didn't really want to go anywhere, and I wasn't like immediately looking for a new position or anything like that, I was like, oh cool, I can just kind of keep track of some of my favorite companies, or like companies that I would really love to work at, and if they ever have a position open that I feel like I was qualified for, I could apply. Which is also just something like I would highly recommend anyone in like the professional sphere to do, because I think it's a good way to help you keep up your resume and make sure that you're constantly kind of keeping a beat on some of the opportunities that might be coming up so that you don't miss them, so you don't see something like afterwards and be like, oh man, I would have loved to do that. Because of that, I ran across a job at one of these companies recently. It's a content management position. I'm not going to say the name of the company because obviously I'm kind of in the process of interviewing and stuff like that, and I don't know. So far I've kept the name of my company that I even currently work at. I guess you could really find it if you wanted to like look me up. Don't look me up? I don't know, that seems creepy. Anyway, but you know, I kind of don't want to say the name of the company for various reasons. That aside, I very, very much would love to work for this company. It's a content management position in their trade marketing division, so it's kind of a marrying of something that I'm very passionate about, as well as I'd be working with a lot of very small businesses and kind of helping them use the products from the company to make their business better and just like kind of get more business and do more events and things. Kind of sucks right now because of the pandemic. Obviously a lot of these businesses are really struggling right now, so I would kind of be in a position where I could kind of help with that and get to work at a company that I really care about, and potentially a company that's quite a bit larger than what I've been working at, where I could like grow a lot better, in my opinion. There'd be like way more opportunity for me to, I need to even this out. There would be a lot more opportunity for growth. Obviously right now, because of the way my company is, growth isn't incredibly possible for various reasons. Mostly, well, I mean, there is opportunity for title growth. There's not really an opportunity for like managing other people. I've always been interested in running a team, like a team of marketers. That's something that I'd get to do at this position that I had an intern. She was a high school student, actually. She was a senior in high school. We worked with one of the local Chicago public schools. Super cool. It was a super rewarding experience, and ever since then I've kind of been like, oh man, I would really love to like have a team and get to do that like mentorship thing, which I feel like I haven't really gotten to do yet, and I feel like I'm kind of ready for. And also I'm kind of ready to be in a position where I'm doing a little bit less production and doing a little bit more strategy, which is what this would be. So I'm kind of very excited about that whole prospect. And so as I like kind of realized that there's all of these good things about this position, I decided to apply. Did everything I needed to do for the application on a Friday, and then I didn't get it quite done, so then like Monday morning I sent them everything. It was like 11 a.m. Eastern time that I sent them everything, and then I got an email back for a phone interview at like 2 p.m. Eastern time. Obviously I was very excited. Usually when people get back to you that quickly, it shows a lot of opportunity as far as like hopefully they're really looking for you and you're really looking for them. Let me find my foundation. I had a phone interview this past Friday. It's currently Sunday, so it's a really good opportunity. I talked to the person who I would be working directly under. Do this whole part so I can talk again. Basically what I'm getting at is I'm kind of like in this weird spot where I've applied for a dream job, and I've now since found out I'm in the second round of interviews, so I'm setting up the next phone interview, which is cool for a lot of reasons. Obviously, you know, getting through initial phone interviews is a little bit easier than like, for example, like getting past an interview with like the COO and the CEO or like the director of marketing or something like that, or with like a whole bunch of people. Why am I talking about this so extensively? So this position would require me to do something kind of drastic. Not during COVID season, thankfully. They were like, no, you don't have to. We're all remote anyway right now. But they would want me to eventually relocate to Renton, Washington. I don't know if I've said this on this channel before. Actually, I know I need to shake this. I don't know if I've said this on this channel before. I've never lived anywhere outside of the Chicagoland area. I grew up just 20 minutes northwest of Chicago. Come on, come out. This stuff is like starting to go out. Oh, Jesus. Well, that wasn't good. There we go. There we go. Now the concealer's coming out. Anyway, as I was saying, whoa, sorry, occasionally I'm going to have to focus in this video on the thing that I'm doing with my hands. I would have to eventually move to Washington State. However, like I said, it wouldn't be until post everything going on with COVID. They said they're remote right now, but they're not planning on staying permanently remote. That is one thing I will say right now. I have surprisingly enjoyed getting to be permanently remote. My current job has decided basically just we're not going back. We'll have an office, but it won't really be like you need to commute there every day. It'll be like maybe we need to be in the office for a meeting every now and again. Why do I look so shiny right now? I'm just gonna keep blending it and hope that helps. Right now, that's something that I am kind of enjoying a little bit. I was surprised because, as you know from the rest of this channel, I have ADHD. I was very worried about the transition to working entirely remotely for various reasons. A lot of them being like I was afraid that my productivity was just going to completely tank, and it hasn't, so that's good. But like I said, it has caused a lot of introspection. I've spent a lot of time alone now. When I'm in Indianapolis, it's not so bad because my significant other is here with me. But when I'm in Chicago, it's like, oh my god, I spend all my time by myself, and I like occasionally go see my family when my parents are willing to come pick me up. So I was already planning on saving for a car. That is one good thing, is like I am like financially prepared to like buy a car. I'm not at all financially prepared to move all the way to Washington. However, this job, because of the title that I would be getting, that would typically come with a fairly significant pay raise, hopefully. So I am hoping that it would be possible. I don't want to like find myself in a position where I have to pass on a dream job because the moving expenses would be really high. That would really suck. And I think they would do some kind of relocation assistance. Most places do. But that's something I'm gonna have to talk about with them. I can talk. I was an English major. So that's the majority of kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video. It's just kind of the start of this journey. If this journey becomes like a whole ass thing, pardon my French, I am going to hopefully take you guys on it, which would be kind of cool, and just like vlog about it a little bit, I think. Part of the reason I wanted to do that is because, like, what is vlogging if not wanting to live, or like what is watching a vlog then not like wanting to live vicariously through something, through someone else? Jesus, I can't talk today. And you know, if watching vlogs is a form of wanting to live vicariously through someone, get like a little window into their life, then what is cooler than seeing someone kind of move cross country and get a dream job, I guess? I don't know, it just seems like something that would be kind of cool to talk about. It's not very even. I don't know if I care. Can you tell? I do want more of a cat eye, that's for sure. Okay, well that looks more even, but I think it looks worse. Just gonna let it go. I don't record in 4K, it's fine. So what I was trying to say, and I think I need to repeat it. In my opinion, when you watch vlogs, you're trying to live vicariously through this, like, that person. And in my opinion, my favorite vlogs are the ones that center around something like really important. A YouTuber I watched, she did a series. Like, it's funny because I wasn't even in college and this wasn't an experience I had at all. She transferred colleges at one point in her college career and she vlogged the whole thing, and I thought that was really interesting. So I kind of thought that this would kind of be in that same realm where, you know, I could kind of talk about a lot of stuff related to this, especially since some of what I'm a little bit worried about is, or I have this opportunity presented to me to work at this like company that I would really love to work for, and I'm gonna find out that they're not going to like pay me fairly, or like I take the job and I find out it wasn't how they described it. It does seem like the description that I read is fairly correct about what I'll be doing. I will say one thing that's a little bit strange to me is, like, for some reason it's like the title is like content manager, trade marketing, but it's definitely just like B2B marketing. There's no trade shows involved, which I found a little funny because like I asked and everything and she was like, oh no, we don't really go to trade, like we go to a few as like attendees, but that's like really all it is, and like we don't have to do anything or prepare anything for it. And I was like, oh, seems weird. Obviously I wasn't gonna say that though. This is part of the reason I'm not saying the name of the company. I wouldn't want to risk a dream job on them happening to see this video, which I'm sure they won't, regardless, but, you know. But yeah, so I'm just kind of hoping, like, this is going to be kind of the first one. It's, like I said, a little bit weird. I guess this is kind of a good get ready with me, but it's not at all. Because I'm not showing you how to do it. I don't know how to get ready with me's work. This is more of a let's talk about things. I'm super stressed about the whole thing. I actually, the last couple nights, I've spent like at least an hour just laying in bed going, okay, if I get it and I move to Washington, like all my friends are in Chicago. Oh, my eyeliner is super uneven. Well, carrying on, just gonna not think about that. Oh, there's like so much to think about. And you know, when it really comes down to it, they asked me if I was willing to move, and I said yes. Which, you know, I think the biggest thing for me is if I didn't have the flexibility to still work from home if I needed to. Like, if I needed to be in Chicago for like a period of time, like with my family for any reason, like it would be really upsetting to me if like I couldn't for work reasons. And that's one thing like I said, like my job now is going fully remote, so that's one thing that I think I would be upset about if I didn't have that flexibility anymore. So I guess I kind of need to sit down and really decide. This is a little bit funny because I wrote and posted a blog not super long ago on my like personal professional blog thing that I have. I guess I'll link it somewhere maybe, I don't know. Let's do this one. I've never gotten to use these. Oh, that is going to be so much, I can already tell. Oh, this is going to be exactly what I wanted. Very witchy. But It's gonna be much, very much, when it first goes on. What was I saying? I had recently written this blog that was kind of talking about how I'm really sad that I'm not working at a place where I'm doing work that I'm like super passionate about, and how I might need to start making decisions about whether or not I wanted to move positions because of that. This side needs to be combed. And that was like before any of this. I hadn't seen this position yet. I didn't know it existed. I had kind of just like decided to like write a little bit about like how I was feeling, and kind of just like put out a little bit of a journal, and like turned out like, hey, fun fact, you're gonna get smacked in the face with that immediately. Start thinking about it. I don't know if my brain just like knew, something in me knew. This is still kind of uneven, isn't it? I could just put more on this side, just like a teeny bit. So I had like already been kind of thinking about like what I wanted to do in my next position, and like whether or not I wanted to start that transition in 2021, or if I wanted to wait, because I'm in a funky spot. I'm at about 5 years in my career, but because I was laid off, and because I've been at this position for a little under 2 years, I was like, I don't know if I should really start looking right now. And I personally, I think like that should never hold you back, but it was something that was kind of in my mind. Like, I didn't want there to be a pattern on my resume. The VP of marketing that I work with right now is so nice. I actually have already told him about the fact that I'm considering leaving for this position with this like kind of dream company of mine. And he was super supportive about it, and we had a whole conversation where he was like, yeah, like the whole pattern thing does come up sometimes, because he's done a lot of hiring. He's like, it does come up. It's one of those things. He was like, if somebody really wants you, they're gonna look past that, which kind of made me feel better about the whole thing. He's very insistent that we should not be loyal to the current company that we both work for. There's a couple of us who are kind of very young in our careers, and he really wants us to grow. Even if that means leaving the company, he wants us to grow, which I appreciate. He could be way more self-serving. He could have made it so that I would have felt very uncomfortable telling him about any of this. And if he had, I probably wouldn't have. The only reason I actually told him is because he's potentially going on paternity leave as early as like next week. So I had to tell him I didn't have to, but I told him just in case, because he's been very, very nice to me. He's been a good mentor, and I didn't want to like leave halfway through his paternity leave or something like that and have to put in my 2 weeks when he wasn't there. That, to me, I was like, that's a little much. I don't think I want to do that to him specifically. I have done things like that to managers. Mostly in like retail jobs though, so it's a little bit different. So my look, my witchy look. I should fix my eyeliner. I think it's an easy fix, and I'm just being lazy about it. It's gonna bother me when I do the next video. Yeah, good enough. How aesthetic was that shot? Dry off. So this is actually, this is one of my favorite things that I have as far as makeup goes, but this is a Sophia Nygaard ColourPop collection lipstick. It's called Brucey, and I really like the color. It's in my opinion very witchy, especially with like a real dark eyeshadow look. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think I did that side wrong. That was all I really had to talk to you guys about today. Hopefully this video will be kind of like, or well, I guess I should say hopefully this series, because I think it's going to become a series, and this is just kind of the first one where I'm kind of priming you guys for everything that's going on. So yeah, with that, I am going to go and film a completely different video, and I'm realizing that I'm probably going to have to take everything off of my SD card before I do that, which is not going to be fun. Anyway, I'm saying that, but anyway, I'm going to be done now. Follow some, kind of followed. Cool. Restarted the camera. Go. What am I doing? Oh, I just got foundation all over my hand. Yeah.